For this next section, you'll need to get out your blue sheet and turn it to this side. It says at the top of the paper how Spark rotation works. And we're going to start by just talking a little bit about how Sunday morning looks to make sure that you know how everything flows together. So our preschool kids and our elementary age kids do two different things, and that's the most important thing to know about how Sunday morning works. The preschoolers are in the downstairs of the education building, and the elementary age kids are in the upstairs of the education building. All of the elementary age kids start off in room 202, and if you look at your sheet, you'll see in the top left-hand corner, it talks about the large group opening. So we start the large group opening after most of the kids are in 202, but the first thing that they do when they get into room 202 is find their shepherd, and their shepherd makes sure that they have a name tag, makes sure that they have checked in and are and does the attendance sheet, and then engages the children in an activity which is in your shepherd bag. The shepherd also makes sure that each child is wearing a wristband, and that if they're not signed up for Kids Quest, that they fill out a registration form. Then we do the large group opening, which is usually an activity to introduce the Bible study, and sometimes we do some singing. After that, the kids go to their workshops, and their shepherds take them to whatever workshop they're going to that Sunday. And so you'll see the arrow right here that says transition, and then you see the lower and upper elementary workshops. And how that works is that one workshop leader will teach art for, say, the whole rotation, but a different group of kids, a different age of kids, will come to that workshop each time. So we study the same story for about 4 or 5 weeks, but the kids learn about it in a different way each time. When the workshops are over, you'll hear a bell ring, and that's the symbol that it's time to go back into room 202 to get ready to go into worship. Once the kids get back into room 202, we split them up between kids who are going into worship and kids whose parents are coming to pick them up. And a couple of shepherds stay with each group, usually depending on whether the shepherd is going home or going to worship. And the ones who are escorting kids to worship go with them down the stairs and into the worship space. That's how elementary works. Preschoolers work a lot differently. They stay in one room for the whole time. 2- and 3-year-olds are in room 104, and 4-year-olds are in room 113. They start with a gathering, then they do their Bible study, some activities, and then they head out. One thing to note about getting the kids back into the worship space is that we ask that the preschoolers be allowed to go first, and their teachers take a lot more care with getting them into the worship space than the shepherds do with the older kids. We walk them all the way down to the front of the worship space and make sure that they find their parents. And that's how Sunday morning works. One thing that I think I forgot to say is that a greeter will be downstairs in the education building at an information table, and they can answer any questions that parents might have.